Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm coming at you from the Welcome Garden. It's been a little while since we've been out here. There is so much to see. So much is blooming right now. I know we're kind of heading into fall at this point, but it's looking so pretty. It's had such an amazing season, and compared to years past, what a difference. Like, so many things that I'm going to repeat for next year. I've learned a lot from growing this garden for the last several years. And I'm loving what I planted this year, and I think you are too. So with that, you ready to get your bloom on? Let's go. So it has been a little while since we've been out here in the Welcome Garden, and so much has changed, right down to an empty planter that I am going to be planting, but I really wanted to get out here and give a tour. I keep saying I'm going to get out here, and I just haven't had a chance, so I'm out here. This garden has been amazing this year. There have been some things that I've loved, some things that I've not loved so much, and I'm going to share some changes that are going to be happening in this garden because there are, I really want to do something different. So for starters, can we all just appreciate the view right now? That view out that way is my absolute favorite, and this garden has been spectacular all season long. I'm actually going to share like a montage of photos on here just to kind of show you the progression, because it's been a little while and the garden has changed so much. But really, it's full of annuals, it's got some perennials, and I love it. I do want to talk a little bit about the black-eyed Susans. So the black-eyed Susans, they have taken over. They have taken over like I have not seen before. And I have to stake them all up like this because otherwise they completely cover the pathway. So yeah, I don't love it. I don't love how they look. I don't like how they are there, just upright like that. It's just not really doing it for me. And I recently visited Proven Winners in Michigan and dropped by Spring Meadow Nursery, where they grow all their hydrangeas, Proven Winners color choice, and I was inspired to plant Let's Dance Skyview hydrangeas under this buckeye tree. I think it would look so beautiful. It does get a little shaded, and I think one of the reasons these flowers lean over so much is because they're trying to get out from under the shade. It's part of it. I mean, the other part of it is that they get kind of tall, but I think part of it is that it's just not getting enough light here, and they really want to kind of come this way. So this is all coming out, and I think I'm taking it out next week. Like, it's happening that quickly. So, and I also want to like redo some things back there. So just to give you a little bird's eye view of what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing Let's Dance Skyview hydrangeas in probably like a semicircle around this. And then I'm going to be removing that hydrangea paniculata back there, moving it over here. And then I'm going to be dropping in Gatsby Pink oak leaf hydrangea. I used to have oak leaf hydrangeas in my former garden. I love the foliage on them, and I saw it when I was at Proven Winners, really loved it, so I want to get it in the garden here. I'm meaning to plant an oak leaf hydrangea for a while now, and that is the one that's going in. So at the start of the bed here, Sedum Autumn Joy. I love this plant. It's a 4-season plant to me, even though like it doesn't bloom or anything in the winter, but in the spring it starts to emerge from the ground. In the summer it gets those beautiful chartreuse heads before the blooms open, and then in fall you get these like light pink that deepen during the season. And then I like to leave these up during the winter because like snow sits on them and stuff, and it's just really pretty. But really what I love about them is they're super easy to grow. It's perennial, but the pollinators love them. Like, bees cover these, and I just love them. They look great in a bouquet. They look great in a wreath. They dry really well. Like, if you are looking for an easy care perennial, like I would totally drill down on Sedum Autumn Joy, or really any one of the stone crop sedums, because they're really beautiful. I have a whole video though on this one. I will, tag it here so you can check it out in case you want to learn a little bit more about how to grow it. I also have a viburnum here with those gorgeous berries. The birds love them in the fall. It's beautiful, beautiful shrub. This was here. I can't take credit on planting it. It's been here since before we moved in back in 21, and it's a great 4-season shrub. Hardy hibiscus, almost done wrapping things up. I did a border of super petunias going all along here. I really love how they do, but I have to say last year I neglected to pull them early enough to plant pansies here. And so I'm going to be pulling them probably in the next week or so. The reason why I want to do that is because I can get 2 seasons out of pansies. So I like to plant them in the fall. They'll bounce back in spring and I can get 2 seasons out of them. I've got some gorgeous celosia here that likes to reseed itself. Beautiful flower, love it in fall. It's low maintenance, it can take a drought, looks great in a bouquet, looks gorgeous in the garden. I've got a couple different varieties going on here. They just reseed themselves every year, and actually I had to pull some out because they were getting a little overgrown and coming out all in the front of the bed, and I didn't really like that. So every year they kind of reseed in the front of the beds, and I always feel bad pulling them because it's a plant, it's a living thing, but really you got to do it. As painful as it is, you got to pull it out so that you can, you know, make the bed all that much better. And I do really love it, but it did get pretty tall last year. This probably won't get as tall as some of the florets that I grew last year, but really beautiful, and I really love it. So I do have some allium here. This also reseeded over here. I'm going to be moving that out. I've got some 9-bark and hydrangea limelight there. Great plant pairing, by the way. I love how the blooms look this time of year with that foliage. It's so gorgeous, am I right? Remember when I spoke about how the black-eyed Susans were taking over in my garden? Well, here's another great example. I let them self-sow here, and yeah, I probably should have pulled them. I don't like the look. Little wild for me. I like it to look a little more organized and formal. You know, it is a cottage garden, and I love the informality of that, but this is just a little too wild for me. The thing is I like to leave the seed heads for the birds, and so the seed blows around, the birds carry it around, and so that's really why the rudbeckia is like all over the place. But it is such a cool flower. I do love it. I'm gonna tame it and kind of like have it grow in a certain area, but I gotta like really clean this up. So that is on my project list this year. And I'm writing down in my garden planner that I need to stay on top of it next spring when I see it pop up in places that I really don't want it, because I wind up leaving it and then I don't love it later in the season, and like it's grown in and it's kind of crowded out other plants. Oh, hello, little chipmunk. And I wind up regretting it later. So I'm writing a note to myself in my garden planner to that I'm moving them around and to keep them in the spot that I put them and don't let them go anywhere else, because I really love overall the look this year of this garden, and I definitely want to, you know, kind of replicate it again next year. So see, like even the celosia came back. That one kind of got away from me. I did not realize it was there, and I would have preferred that be in the back. I actually had to pull some because there were so many in the beds towards the front, and I don't really want it to be that, you know, that tall in the front of the border, but hey, you know, things happen. So anyway, can we all just appreciate rockin' playing the blue salvia? Look at how gorgeous those flowers are, not to mention all the pollinators on them. Look at all those bees. The other night, I saw a few sleeping on the blooms like they were drunk on the pollen. And just so cute. They love this garden. I've got loads of butterflies that come by. Bees are really popular, obviously. And I'm asked all the time, do they ever bother me? And the answer is no, they do not. They could care less about me. They just want the nectar in the flowers. And so they are just happy to kind of hang out and do their thing. I love it. Love, 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 love it. So here I've got Royal Cosmo Lantana. Really love it. I'm going to show you it a little further down because the salvia unfortunately is sort of pushing it down, but it really gets a nice mounding habit if, you know, you don't allow that to happen. But I've got bubblegum pink petunias in here. They're still really going strong. I love them. I love to plant them every year. I find for me they do a little bit better in the ground than they do in a pot. How about you? Have you grown them before? Do they do that too? They're really prolific, easy to grow, low maintenance, and I just love that color, don't you? So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about my zinnia border, because last year I loved the zinnia varieties that I grew. They were all from floret, mostly from floret, and they were beautiful. I love her flowers, but there was such a muted, neutral color palette with them. Looked really gorgeous in a vase and in a bouquet and centerpieces and stuff, but in my gardens it just looked very washed out, and I really just like more of an array of color. So this year I really restrained myself from going too light, and I really tried to mix in a bunch of different varieties of zinnias. I have a whole blog post sharing all the ones that I'm growing this year. I'll link that in the description below so you can check it out. But for now, just make a note that I did a range of colors with my zinnias, and they are all from Johnny's Selected Seeds. They don't sponsor me in any way. I just love their seeds. Very high quality seed. I always get a high germination rate. Plants are always super healthy, and they always look good. But what I want to talk to you about right now is making sure that you support your taller zinnias. Now, there are some gardeners out there that will say, you know, you can just let your zinnias kind of, you know, do their thing, and they'll support one another to stay up. And for years since we moved in here, I was doing that here, and they would just kind of like flop over the wall. Really pretty, and it always looked good. But this year I came across these rectangular grow through support hoops, and I love the round ones, but I don't love them in like a, you know, a line like this. Like, they just don't work out as well. But I found these rectangular ones that work really, really well. And I found that the plants have so many more flowers on them just from supporting them. So just to give you an example, I did not support this side over here, and look at the blooms. Not only are they leaning and falling over, but there's a lot less than over here. Like, that's the difference. Is that crazy? That is the difference. So if there's any question on whether or not you should support your zinnias, the answer is a resounding yes from Stacy Ling. I would do it. I feel the blooms do so much better. And I do stake all of mine in my cut flower garden, but up here I was letting them do their thing, and I never really realized how much fewer blooms I actually had until this year. So just a little side note, I'm gonna tag, if I can find, the rectangular grow through supports that I used. I will tag it here on the video, but if not, I'll tag it in the description below in case you want to snag some for next year. But anyway, and just to kind of show you from the front of the wall so you can really see the difference. So that's the side that I did not support with my zinnias, and then look at the difference. Like, right? I mean, so many more flowers. This is harder for me to deadhead because the wall, you know, is tall, and I need like a ladder to get up there and cut flowers for bouquets and deadhead. But I do it, just not as often as I get into the cutting garden, which is why some of the blooms look a little more spent than others. But I mean, seriously, look at the difference. Anyway, so I've also got a bunch of perennials here. I've got some yarrow and some coneflowers that are done. I do have some coreopsis that is still kind of going right there. I've got some penstemon in here. I've got Nepeta, cat's pajamas, agastache, maestro coral. And then this is really what a full-grown patch of lantana looks like. Nice mounding form. This is Royal Cosmo Lantana from Proven Winners. I have 3 plants here, and I gotta tell you, I'm gonna do this again in this garden because I love it with the combination of gomphrena Truffula Pink together with that salvia. I mean, it's just gorgeous, right? Last year, we removed probably a good 8 feet of that English ivy. It used to look weird from the driveway down below to just like have nothing here, and it was because of all that ivy. So I took it out. I wound up planting the Play in the Blue salvia. I do have ballet slippers, hardy hibiscus here as well. Since I knew it wasn't going to be all that big in the first season, I just planted these here just to kind of fill in. I think next year I'll be able to kind of leave this area alone. I do want to put something perennials over here, and I may eventually at some point get all of this ivy out. I just don't love it. I mean, it's okay, but it's overgrown. You really got to manage it. It's kind of invasive, and I just don't love it. Do you have experience with English ivy too? Because I don't know, I'm just not a fan. Okay, so like I mentioned, I'm going to be taking all of these black-eyed Susans out. Some are getting relocated, some I'll give away. If you're local to me, let me know. Maybe I'll give you some. I have so many here, and I definitely do not need all these. They have completely taken over. So I'm going to be planting Let's Dance Skyview hydrangeas, Gatsby pink oak leaf, the treeform paniculata over there, and then I got a few bobo hydrangeas and some green mountain boxwoods that I'm going to be putting in along the front. I'm taking all of this out. I don't love it. It's a hot mess. And actually, we're not even going on the porch because I just brought all my houseplants in and I just have a bunch of stuff out there. But anyway, I'm just going to kind of stay over here. But I'm going to be changing all of this. I want to get that barberry out. It's invasive. I don't like it. It's way too tall for that space, which is why I want to do bobo hydrangeas, because it'll be smaller. The greenwood boxwoods will be on every pillar, and they only get to be about 4 to 5 feet tall and like not as wide. So from a visual perspective, you'll still be able to see things from the front porch. I want to get out a lot of these plants. I'm going to keep all the shrubs over there and move all of these out and then replant. I'm going to regroup once I get the greenwood boxwoods in and the bobos. I definitely want to keep my sedum autumn joy. It's one of my favorites. We are about half a week into mowing, so that's why some of the grass is kind of overgrowing on the edging. We always edge every week as well as mow. But one of the things that I want to mention, and the reason why I have such a nice clean edge along here, is like 2 times in the growing season. One time in like spring, and then another time like kind of like mid to late summer. We take our edging tool and we go through the beds and create this nice, crisp, clean edge. And it really does make a difference with the gardens. I mean, look at how nice that looks, right? I'm gonna tag the one that I use because I feel like it's called the roots layer, and it slices through grass roots and can get through rocks pretty easily. I really like it. I think it's a great edging tool, and I will link it here for you on the video and then in the description below, just in case you want to check it out. And that's it, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me in the welcome garden today. I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy a beautiful day.